Pickup Lines is presented by Gamez Law Firm. Personal injury guidance for more than 50 years. Gamez Law fights. By Integrity Roofing and Siding. Family owned and operated for more than 40 years, serving the San Antonio area for roofing, siding, and renovation needs. And by the Sabinal Group. For nearly 20 years, serving the San Antonio region through professional minority general contracting services. Pickup Lines is broadcast from inside the all-electric Lexus RZ 450E, courtesy of North Park Lexus at Dominion and North Park Lexus of San Antonio. Good afternoon, everybody. Here we are once again. This is Pickup Lines, might be the only talk show on earth live in a Lexus. And if there's another one, let me know, and I'm happy to apologize and be corrected. I do know it's the only one with Richard Oliver on.
With Richard Oliver in a Lexus.
In a Lexus.
With you. This is
live.
This is exclusive.
We can confirm that? Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome in. It is great to see you. Richard Oliver, I have the title here because I want to make sure it's Communications Manager at City of San Antonio Convention and Sports Facilities.
Yeah, that's basically the Convention Center, the Alamodome, and the beautiful Carver Community Cultural Center.
It's a mouthful, but I kind of feel like this doesn't properly explain everything, that you've done and everything that you do, because you do moonlight. Mm-hmm. You're a former, you're a sportscaster at heart and a sports fan, and we've worked with some mutual friends and stuff over the years. So, but this job allows you to do all that. We're in the shadow, quite literally, of the convention center right now.
Yeah, we are. In fact, we have a convention that's unloading right now, so it's busy around us. And this is a great time of year. We've got after this, the San Antonio Breast Cancer Symposium is here, which not only is an important convention, just for the economic health of the city, but also for what they do. So that's just really cool to watch all this kind of stuff happen and to see the kind of work that's being done even here in the convention center. Are
you legally required to attend every convention that comes to town?
No, I'm not. I'm here as a resource and I'm available. But yeah, we've got a lot going on, and I've got a lot going on, and it's a lot of fun.
I'm with you on this is a great time of year. I just love San Antonio, downtown San Antonio, this time of year, that post-Thanksgiving when the lights are on and everything. How would you describe your job to the lay person, to someone who maybe doesn't know these facilities or what exactly that you do?
Well, actually, and this goes all the way back to when I was with Visit San Antonio, the convention and tourism arm of the city, the sales and marketing arm of the city. Is to cast a positive spotlight on a great destination, which is San Antonio. And that's right now, I pitch stories, just as I used to pitch you all the time.
Yes.
I pitch stories. I go find some, it's kind of like being a reporter a little bit. I go find great stories regarding our facilities here.
Right.
And we've got a great story to tell. The Convention Center and certainly the Alamodome and all that's happening over there. And the Carver, and I'll pitch stories, and I get in front of the camera when I need to. Be on top of things that are happening regarding these facilities, and the whole idea is to just to let people know that there's some great things happening, and to tell those stories.
I'm with you on the numbers of stories. Just for the rest of our lives, we could tell a story every day, and we still wouldn't get to everything. I know these buildings have been in the news lately a lot, and I know you're not at liberty to get into the weeds a lot on this, but with the Project Marvel news and schematics and plans that are already out in public, what are your thoughts on what the future of these facilities might look like and how soon that could happen?
You and I are in the business of communicating at a tremendous time in San Antonio. And the Project Marvel, or whatever you want to call it, as far as the expansion of facilities, is exciting. And I say that not only as an employee of the city, but also as just a citizen of the city, of a place that I've grown to love over 25 years that I've been here. When you talk about the Alamo project, the Hemisphere Civic Park project, all the different things that are happening, we all see the construction, but and certainly are frustrated by it in part. But what they're going to do here and what it will be when it's finished, and what San Antonio will be downtown, already probably the prettiest downtown in America.
We're biased, right? I would agree.
But in my America, it's the most, but
Amen to that.
It's walkable. It's all those different kind of things. And I love the way that everything is being pieced together. Where you're going to have the Spurs Arena, you have the baseball stadium,
minor league baseball,
the what they're going to do with the John Woods Courthouse, and of course the Alamodome eventually, what they'll do with that. It's exciting. I mean, and everything's going to be this downtown will be buzzing, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see it happen.
All right.
I hope I'm not being wheeled around by the time they finish.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you've taken pretty good care of yourself. If you cut Richard Oliver, he might bleed maroon, because I know you're a big time Aggie, and you've got.
Tell?
I mean, just a little hint there. So I know you went to A&M, and I know you a lot of your writing and your sports career started there, which I'll get to in a minute. But where did you grow up? Where did you go to high school?
I grew up in Corpus Christi.
Yes.
I was born in Kingsville. My father was a pilot, a Navy pilot. So of course lots of Navy aviation places down in that area, Kingsville, Corpus Christi. Grew up in Corpus Christi, went to Corpus Christi Carroll High School.
The Tigers,
which are now there's another Carroll High School, and the old Carroll High School is being repurposed into something else.
Oh, really? Okay.
I guess. I haven't been down there in a while, but I'm told that
no,
it's all been...
Well, I grew up in Victoria, and I remember covering, it was the Miller, Moody, Carroll,
yeah,
and I'm forgetting one or two other schools. Ray.
Yep, Ray, Cal Allen, Tulsa Midway, Flower Bluff, yeah. I was sports editor down there for years, so we were just talking the other day about not only the high schools down there, but the team names, the Cotton Pickers.
Oh, the mascots.
Yeah, the mascots and everything. I love that,
Texas has some unique mascots. I just remember when I was covering high school football, the Hutto Hippos have always stuck with me.
Yep.
The Central Catholic Buttons, there's...
Yeah, where do you come up with these?
I mean,
the Rohawks. Randolph Rohawks.
Yeah.
I mean, what's a Rohawk?
Yeah, I'm not as sharp as I used to be, but it took me forever to realize what a Lanier Volk was.
Now I don't know what it is.
It's a gear. The Volk, I believe, is it now. Now I'm nervous.
Tell me.
I thought it was like a gear, like part of machinery, the Volk is part of a. You can see how
that's
technological and handy.
You should go through life learning something new every day.
Right.
I think now the next cocktail party I'm going to say, did you know that Lanier Volk?
It's an icebreaker.
Is a gear.
It's part of a gear. Part of a machinery.
You can't operate without a Volk.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Were you always going to go to A&M, or you have a big family of Aggies?
I joke about it all the time. My family was very military, because my dad was one of the Navy's Blue Angels. So
nice.
we were very military. I ended up at Texas A&M. My mom wanted me to go to A&M. I don't remember applying. I don't remember. I wanted to go to UT. I remember that, but I remember even back in the 60s, 70s, certainly in the 70s when I was in high school.
Right.
UT was still that liberal bastion that if you were a conservative military family, you kind of frowned on it. But all my buddies were in the band. One of my good friends was actually with the Big Bertha drum. Is it Big Bertha?
Yeah, at UT. Yeah.
He actually was the manager of that thing. So I loved it. I loved the pageantry of UT. I loved everything about it. But I ended up at A&M. And Ernie, to this day, I don't remember applying.
You got your diploma, right?
I got my diploma.
There's proof.
There's proof. I went. I love it. I love the school. My wife went there. I met my wife. She came walking up and sat next to me in my very first class at A&M.
And so you got your ring, too, and everything. What was the class?
It was Journalism 101, fittingly.
Of course it was.
And she came up, the Farrah Fawcett hair. And
oh, my gosh.
Tell you what, melted my butter.
And the rest is history.
Yep.
Were you in the Corps?
No.
You weren't in the Corps Cadets or any of that? Okay.
No.
Because I went to A&M as well with the intent of being a journalism major. I ultimately did not finish there, and I did not get my ring.
But you're still an Aggie. I'm
sure.
telling you, we always talk about this. Once you're there, once you're in, you are accepted as an Aggie.
Thank you.
Forever and ever.
Thank you. I did 2 years there, but my dad, brother, sister, brother-in-law, and various aunts and uncles all attended A&M. So
all 3 of my kids, my sister, my wife's brothers. We have.
So the student paper is the battalion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming it's still. I haven't been back to the campus in a little while, but that's where you got. Was that your first taste of sports writing and writing journalistically?
Yeah, and in fact, it's funny. Life is. And I think you and I have joked about this before. How you come up with these crossroads in your life, and when you get to be my age, you kind of look back and you can kind of recognize them.
Right.
But when I was at Texas A&M, I was on the student newspaper as one of the cub little young reporters, sophomore, and writing, and I ran for editor of the paper, and it was against actually a dear friend of mine, and I got beat by 1 vote.
Really?
1 vote. And the guy was so relieved that he'd won and so happy, hugs me out in the hallway and he says, "Richard, whatever you want to do at the paper." And I said, "Well, man, those sports guys are partying every day.
Yes.
They go to games, they travel around and everything. I'd like to be the sports editor. You got it."
Done.
And here I am, all these years later, just this wonderful blessing of a career that's taken me some really wonderful places.
It is pretty cool to cover sports. I mean, in terms of, especially when you're young, free meals, free tickets to games, you're on the field or on the court or whatever.
You have access.
And the only thing is when you're in the press box, you can't cheer, right?
No,
I mean, you still can't. That's just the rule, but you're not up there to be a cheerleader. But nonetheless, there is a coolness factor to it.
There is, and it's a wonderful career.
Yeah.
In fact, I tell people all the time, I don't think there's anything like sports, and thank God I'm still able to do it. I still get to do a lot of sports. Is that it nothing captures the emotions of being a human being like being a sports fan. Yeah. And just and I just went through it. The A&M Texas game.
Yeah, I know. You and me both.
Just the yin and the yang, the ebb and flow of just misery and agony and cheering and happiness and everything. Just the range of emotions that goes into being a sports fan. And Ernie, I tell you what, we've just gone through this election process.
Yes.
An election day and all that entails, where you just don't know what's going on. Sports is as honest as it comes. The drama of life plays out in sports in a very honest and open way. We griped about the officials, we griped about this and that, but the scoreboard still tells the story at the end of the day, and you still go back and say that was an honest result. Yeah,
no, that's true. And like I tell my wife, you just never know what you're going to see. When you think you've seen it all in a football game or a baseball game or whatever, you might see something brand new that you've never seen before.
It's a magical time.
So,
hey, we know in San Antonio, we're seeing the evolution and the growth of one of the more magical young players in Victor Wembanyama for the Spurs. We're seeing how sports plays out in a very magical way in that situation.
And I've seen him play in person a couple of times already, and it is hard to, considering we saw Duncan and Robinson play, and we've seen some of the Spurs greats over the years. And I know you've covered it. Well, you worked. I didn't realize you worked for was it Newsday?
Newsday
in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So being in that market, you were exposed to unbelievable talents and athletic icons.
New York's another animal. I tell people, it's interesting. In San Antonio, we love when the Spurs roll around. You love when there's particular things, high school football. Right. Now we've got UTSA football, which I didn't have back then.
Sure.
But in New York, year-round, Yankees, Mets, New York Rangers, Islanders.
Hockey,
Go down the checklist of all the different things, the Giants, the Jets, and everything. Always something going on. It's a city and an area, a region, with as much energy as any place you'll find.
Even in the off season too.
There is no off season.
That's right.
There is no off season. The Yankees are bitching and moaning right now because they're not going to sign Juan Soto.
Right. Just right now, for example, you have, just off the top of my head, you have the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. You have the Yankees and free agency, or the Mets as well. Mm-hmm. I don't know a lot about the hockey teams and everything, but I mean, just the Knicks.
Oh yeah, the Knicks are playing
the Brooklyn,
fairly good basketball.
The Brooklyn Nets.
The Nets. I haven't heard anything about the Nets.
No, I don't think. But they're up there.
But yeah, there's all of that going on, and that's what really makes it. I just remember being just a sports fan as you are. I used to work, and I would leave at night driving home from whatever I had done, and you could click on the radio. There's always either sports talk, or actual literal sports going on at all times in New York, and it was always fun to be a part of that.
And the tabloids and everything, and
And I covered the New York Jets in the late '90s when a guy named Bill Parcells was their head coach.
The tuna.
And so that first year I covered them with Rich Kotite as head coach. They finished 1-15. You could tell how exciting that
was. Vinny Testaverde the quarterback?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. He was the Christmas gift that landed on Parcells' door as second year that Parcells was there, and had one of the more successful seasons any quarterback's ever had.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And by the way, we talked about access, a big part of sports. Vinny Testaverde, one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Just a great guy.
I know they play at MetLife now. What was the name of the place where they played before?
Giants Stadium.
It was Giants because they shared.
Yeah, the Jets.
Like they do now.
It looks like they taped up.
Yeah.
Taped up Jets on top of the Giants logo.
I had this conversation with my wife the other day because she didn't realize they share, and then like the Rams and Chargers share SoFi Stadium. Mm-hmm. When the Lakers and Clippers used to share Staples or whatever it is, Crypto.com arena now.
Yeah.
You still have some of that going on.
Yeah, and in New York, that they never enjoyed that
Yeah.
facet of things.
I get it.
Jets always feel like they're the second fiddle in that whole. And
Yeah.
by the way, they are the second.
No,
fiddle.
that's true. That is true. That is true. So as we sit here and talk about it, and I mean, again, the Alamodome is right kind of in front of us over here, and you can kind of visualize what might be coming in the next decade or so. Have we made peace with the fact that, I mean, unless you want to break some news here, we're not getting an NFL team here anytime soon, or Major League Baseball, and maybe we don't need that given what we have now and what looks like is coming down the road.
Well, and I would say that I would love to see NFL football here. The one thing that everyone wrestles with in San Antonio, and that you kind of have to come to grips with as a San Antonio resident, is we always say we're the 7th largest city in the country.
Correct.
But we're like the 27th largest metro in the country.
Yeah.
And as far as the TV market and all that kind of stuff, but the biggest issue is we just don't have the money.
TV market, you're like 33, like in the low 30s.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exactly right.
And people just don't. But people, all they see is we're the 7th largest city in America.
Correct.
We should be able to have a Major League Baseball.
Oh, we have
team.
1.5 million.
And you know what? And God bless us all, because everyone, because I would love for us to have another pro team.
Right.
The Spurs, I'm sure the Spurs would not be quite as happy about it, but
No.
But that said, I mean, we don't have that many Fortune 500 companies here. We don't have some of the different things that even in, dare I say, Austin has really kind of put together over the years. You know, when Michael Dell and Elon Musk and Tesla's over. You know, there's just stuff happening in Austin
For sure.
that involves a lot of money, and we just don't have the structure. But also, we don't have the ballpark for it. We don't have the stadium for it yet.
Right.
But that's not to say that San Antonio is not going to evolve into something that could really accommodate that.
Well, the Final Four will be here in 3 months and stuff. So there's a reason multiple Final Fours have come, and that's not to say that other major events can't continue. Major concerts, that the Taylor Swift will come here or something like that will happen. So might take a little more time.
Yeah, we're naming. We've had some great concerts come through over the last 2-3 years. And what's cool is, and another thing, you talked about Taylor Swift, and it's really interesting because obviously every of the 300 and something stadiums that are available around the world, obviously they're all, waving their hands trying to get her in. It's a really complicated process to get these concerts here. Right now, AC/DC is starting to announce their tour.
Yes.
So we hear every time the Eagles step out of the sphere in Las Vegas,
Right.
everyone said, okay, come on.
Right.
So it's one of those things where now that I'm in the communications side and kind of just privy to the discussion and what goes on, I'm telling you, Ernie, it is an absolute, it's a scrum getting some of these bands in. We got Post Malone coming in May.
Yeah.
Shakira coming in June. And there's some other things that are going to be announced that are pretty significant. It'll be a lot of fun.
Man, you would get in trouble if you were to mention it right now.
But I don't know.
Okay.
A lot of it is there's a wish list and there's an actual, hey, these guys are probably going to come. So, but in both cases, we've got a great team that works really, really hard. And for guys like me of a certain seasoning, shall we say, Journey and Journey came through.
I saw that.
Def Leppard and everything in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah,
that draws 45,000 people.
Oh, I saw Elton John here not too long ago.
Elton John, yes.
And I mean, Billy Joel and Sting were here. I mean, so and now you're speaking my language here. my buddy Richard Ogala reminds me the Warrior Games are coming to San Antonio as well.
They are.
So you've got that's another major event and things.
And that's why when we talk about not having a franchise per se, another NFL team or Major League Baseball team. You bring up a great point. I mean, NCAA men's Final Four. I mean, just overall economic impact, $400 million for that event, for a 3-day event. Of course, things happened leading up to it, but you talk about that. You talk about those kind of things that come in, and these conventions, just the conventions that are coming in. And if they do the expansion of the convention center like they're talking about, it's going to accommodate these 25,000 people. We move in entire cities.
No, that's crazy to me.
It's
because
like Victoria. Bring in Victoria.
That's true.
We're hosting Victoria for 3 days. Come on in.
It's crazy because we're literally sitting here at the convention center, and I already think of it. I mean, I just drove around the thing a little while ago. I think of it as big already, but if you stack it with other major metropolitan cities and convention centers, it's still, I guess, relatively small.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because they do accommodate groups that are very, very large. And in fact, when people think about the hotels downtown, I think we've got 14,000 hotel rooms downtown.
Right.
You think, wow, that's a lot of hotel rooms. You bring in some of these with what they're talking about as far as the size of some of these events. And we have big events. I mean, like I said, the breast cancer symposium is very big. When we have some of the Comic-Cons that come in.
Right.
I mean, it's amazing how many people that they get
crowds.
in here. But they're talking bigger.
Yeah.
And every one of those people that comes in goes to, and you and I have both gone to conventions before. Most of you guys who are watching have gone to conventions before.
Right.
You know the seismic impact of it.
Sure.
You land, you fly in, you land, you tip your cab driver, you
Starts
pay your
immediately.
cab driver,
Yeah.
you get to the restaurant, get to the hotel, all the different kind of things.
Yep.
It's a seismic impact. We used to joke that, it's like dropping a big stone in the Riverwalk on one side, just watching those ripples.
Yeah.
And that's what each and every traveler that comes to San Antonio. And the other important thing is they leave as ambassadors.
Right.
They leave and come back and vacation here.
That's right.
Or tell their friends about it and say, man, you wouldn't believe how beautiful that downtown was, or how beautiful the Riverwalk was, or pick your beautiful spot around.
Well, right, especially again this time of year when it's a little chilly today, but boy, some people have it much worse in other parts of the country right now, and so
I'll take this.
Yeah, no, I'm not complaining at all here.
It may rain tomorrow. We may have a South Texas blizzard.
And that's okay. That's okay.
It's gonna be the 40s and raining.
People will forget how to drive, and it'll be a little crazy on the road. So be careful.
Get your earmuffs.
All right. A few more minutes with Richard Oliver here. We talked about your time in New York, and you covered the Jets and everything. But was Texas kind of tugging at your heart? And you obviously came back.
It was. We had 3 kids, and they were all, one was going into high school, one was going into middle school, one was going into elementary school. And I tell you what, it sounds silly now, but God had his hand on us. But I went to a football game, a high school football game in New York, and it was a private school and everything. We went and we sat, and there was nobody there. It was a Saturday afternoon. It was cold. The band comes out at halftime. There's like 14 of them. And I told my wife, I want my kids I want them to know the pageantry and the fun and the energy and the electricity of just being in high school in a place that's got great football and everything. And I know that sounds trite and all those different kind of things, but I wanted them to experience that. And we loved New York. We loved it. We lived out on Long Island. It was beautiful. 40 state and county parks. I mean, all kinds of different things. And so it was just one of those great things that when we look at that, what we were able to do there, we said, let's go home. Yeah. Let's go back down to not just San Antonio, but South Texas. Right. And we just, at that point, we were able to do that. And that was the reason that drew us back home. So that was in 2000. And I went to the Express News and became a deputy sports editor there, and then sports editor, and then moved into a senior writing role. And that's when you and I became acquainted. Exactly. And we could do another episode just on your time at the Express News. You and I have great close friends, lifelong friends who have done some amazing work over the years at the Express News. I wonder how often you reflect on just kind of the state of the business right now. I mean, I've seen obvious changes in TV news and that landscape, and how you're feeling about the state of the industry now, if you will, as compared to maybe when we started once upon a time. I think that to be totally honest, I hate to see what's happening to media and the industry in total. To see people that are losing their jobs, see people that are newsrooms that are shrinking to a point to where we're having, you're having trouble kind of putting out a product that you and I are used to seeing over the years. I think that's one of the things that really kind of makes it a different type of situation than what we've seen in the past. Yeah. I don't like it. I mean, I think journalism was stronger, obviously, in the past. I think, and it's become. What's interesting too about social media coming into journalism is the idea that every journalist has an opinion now. Yeah. Every journalist, and I'm the old school dinosaur guy that listen. I was an Aggie, but I could cover objectively an A&M game because that's what the job required. Yeah, exactly. I'm this, and I don't know. It's like one of the media outlets here in town. I don't want to name it, but one of them, they've got one of the guys that's doing the assigning on stories. Yeah, that's overseeing assigning stories is also writing opinion columns, and it bothers me. Yeah, that stuff bothers me. I think that there needs to be that separation of church and state.
I get that. I totally get that. And my fear is sometimes it's not necessarily that person's fault. It's that, and maybe it is, but they're being tasked with doing multiple things. It's doing more with less.
Right.
You know, and you see a lot of good people, like you said, that lose their jobs or move on or retire, if you will. And the ones that are left there are left to do all the work of all those other people.
And it's unfair. I mean, I feel for a lot of them. I mean, we see a lot of the mistakes that are happening on websites, and because there's just not that screening process that there used to be.
Right, and not the experience level that maybe you and I were used to growing up in
institutional knowledge. And,
again, it's not,
but again, I'm sounding like get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. No, listen.
Way back in my day, journalism used to.
We had stone tablets, and we covered. No. Stop it. What do you like to do for fun? Do you get to go to a lot of the concerts? I mean,
I do.
I would think you get a ticket, or you kind of slide in the door at the Alamodome.
I have the best job. I mean, I really do. I mean, the people at the convention center and the people at the Alamodome, just
glad to hear that.
Carver, they're just great people. It's a lot of fun, and I think that I go to the concerts. But I think the biggest fun for me is, and believe me, I sat down and listened to Billy Joel sing for a while. So I'm not saying that's not a lot of fun, but watching everything that happens in the background. Yeah. Watching the preparation. People don't, when people don't realize that when Billy Joel and Sting come, and there's 40-something thousand people there. Right. Just the setting up of the chairs, the infrastructure that happens, the clean, you're just making it clean. You're welcome. Steve Zito, who's the director of the Alamodome. It's like he's welcoming people into his house. Yeah. To him, this is my house. Right. And I'm inviting guests over. Yeah. And it's just really, really cool to watch how they put that stuff together. I love it. And the same with the convention center. This is the cleanest. I joke about this, but it's absolutely true, especially in the wake of the pandemic. Yeah. This is the cleanest, freshest air in San Antonio, if not America. In the convention center. They have a certification for how they scrub the air and how they make it. Okay. So I'll take a long walk every day just to get up from my computer and take a long walk around the convention center, and I think I can't believe I'm working here. This is the coolest place. So you office out of here? I office out of here and at the Dome. I go back and forth. Okay. I'm floating around quite a bit. So you get a lot of steps in. I get a lot of steps in. Goodness gracious. Yeah. So but I love this place, and the people are they just love what they do, and it's like me and you, and I'm dead serious about this. People who live in San Antonio, who have a stake in San Antonio, and who work in certain parts of San Antonio, we love this city. Mm-hmm. We love to talk about this city. We love to sell it to people, to tell our friends. And you and I know it. You've traveled quite a bit. I've traveled. Everywhere I go, someone's been to San Antonio. Yeah. And they always like, oh, I love the Riverwalk, or I love the downtown, or I love this or that. And that's the way it is with the people that work in the Convention and Sports Facilities Department. Well, this is like the third time I've been here in the last couple of weeks with the Raul Jimenez dinner and the auto show and everything, and I've thoroughly enjoyed just being here. And like you said, everybody's nice. And friendly. You make this place better every time you show up. Hey. Well, you're not doing so bad yourself. No. We need to have another conversation at some point just to reminisce more on sports and everything. But I'm so glad we were able to visit and just get a little peek inside. I was about to ask you if there was something quirky or unique about one of these facilities that nobody would know about, but you mentioned the air thing. Yeah, that's the one thing I would bring up is that they really, cleanliness obviously is next to godliness. Next to godliness here at the convention center, and I tell you what, it's rocking and roll. And to assure everybody, because everyone knows how big tourism and hospitality is in San Antonio, $20 billion industry or whatever it is. Things are happening here. Things are going nuts here. The conventions that are coming in, the meetings that are happening, and every one of those people, hug them, because they're keeping your taxes down. Yeah. They're putting money in the coffers of this city. It's a great point. And they come in and they take care of a lot of the stuff financially that we are very happy about. Next time we'll talk Aggie football and NIL and that's a whole other. Well, do we have to? I was so hopeful for this year and a couple of weekends ago. God bless the Longhorns. Yeah. Win that SEC title. We'll see what happens this weekend. All right. Darn you. And somewhere Jimbo Fisher is collecting checks. After, now see, look what I started here. I didn't mean to I was in such a good mood, and now I'm going to go back to the office and mope at my desk. Johnny Manziel's not walking through that door anytime soon. No, he's not.
Richard Oliver.
All right, man.
The best. Like I
Wonderful.
said, he's the communications manager for the convention and sports facilities, but the business card would have to be this big to fit everything, because he's still on TV, doing TV and podcasts and talking sports and everything. And
it's a long title.
It's a long title.
It's a long title.
Somebody's got to do it.
That's right.
And I'm glad it's you, sir. Thank
right.
you. All the best.
Right.
The great Richard Oliver. Gig 'em.
Dig 'em.
Look at this, seeing the fireworks come on as I start applauding. There you have another episode of Pickup Lines in the Book. We'll be back again very soon. You never know who's going to be here in the car with me. But until then, have a great day. Happy holidays as well. We'll see you next time. Bye.